In Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Indian troops in their unabated acts of state terrorism have martyred over 780 Kashmiris since 5th August 2019 in the occupied territory. Indian troops have martyred 780 Kashmiris, including 14 women, since the abrogation of the special status of the occupied territory by the Narendra Modi-led fascist Indian government in gross violation of the United Nations resolutions and international laws. Most of the victims were killed in fake encounters and custody as youth were picked up from houses and then eliminated after being dubbed as Mujahideen or our ground workers or Mujahid organizations. At least 2,362 people were critically injured due to the use of brute force, pellets and tear gas shells by Indian troops, paramilitary and police personnel on peaceful demonstrators and mourners in the territory. The killings by the troops rendered 52 women widowed and 128 children orphaned during the period. Though Amnesty International and US State Department's annual report have been raising alarm about rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, yet Indian troops, paramilitary and police personnel are arbitrarily arresting, torturing and killing Kashmiris on a daily basis during so-called cordon and search operations. The entire occupied Kashmir, which is under military and police siege, has been turned into an open-air prison, and thousands of Hurriyat leaders, political and human rights activists, religious heads, journalists and businessmen were arrested after or before 5th August 2019 under black laws and still continue to remain in Tihar and other jails of India and Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. India claims to be the world's largest democracy, but is shamelessly violating every human rights principle in the occupied territory. Human rights violations perpetrated by Indian troops, paramilitary and police personnel have reached alarming proportions since Narendra Modi-led fascist Indian government repealed the special status of the territory in August 2019. The United Nations must take notice of grave rights abuses in the occupied territory and hold the Indian troops and all its men in uniform as well as the Indian government accountable for their crimes in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir.